Let's face it, your Rolex isn't coming to the beach, your Speedmaster isn't going hiking, and your vintage Datejust, well, is not surviving a construction site. That's why every collector, from novice to seasoned pro, needs a Quartz watch in their box. Today, I'm breaking down why it's not just smart, it's essential. Welcome back to Taylor Timepieces, where we talk about watches, wealth, and risk game. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Let's dive in. So, the question is, what is a quartz beater? Let's define it. A beater watch is one that you can knock around without a second thought. Quartz means battery powered, low maintenance, and ultra reliable. No winding, no worrying, just pure utility. These are your everyday warriors, your grab and go pieces that can really hit the ground ticking and hit the ground in general. So here's some practical perks of quartz watches. The first of which is, of course, the accuracy. So you don't really need to baby it. Quartz beats mechanical in precision every time. This is a common misconception that mechanical watches are somehow better than quartz. But with quartz, we're talking about plus or minus 15 seconds a month versus plus or minus 15 seconds a day with mechanical pieces. Maintenance. There's no movement to service every 5 years. Just swap a battery every couple of years and you're golden. Third thing, it is lightweight and durable. For me, it's just something like this Omega Seamaster quartz piece. It's just great for physical activity. You want something that disappears on the wrist, but still does its job. As a side note, that's especially important, if you're traveling. I know that I always say I want a watch that feels like a watch on my wrist. But in general, when I'm traveling, I don't want people to view my watch. I don't want people to know that I have a piece on my wrist. If I am, of course, doing an outdoor activity like weightlifting or hiking, if you're changing a tire, it's a little bit cumbersome to have a large automatic piece in your wrist. So I like something that's a little bit under the radar. Again, that's why I chose an Omega Quartz, but there are plenty of pieces from Tag to Breitling that I think are great examples as well. Here are some scenarios where I think you'll be glad that you had one. I think the beach is an awesome place to, experience your quartz piece. Sand and salt water is not where you want your Submariner to go. This is really a common misconception that if you're wearing a Submariner or if you have a piece that is a little bit more active in that sense, you want to, that you can get it wet, you can get it dirty. And yes, while you can do those things, I think for safety and basically savvy's sake, to have a quartz piece that you can put on your wrist and not really worry about is awesome. Again, we touched on this a little earlier in the video, but travel. For me, personally, I don't like people knowing that I have a watch on my wrist when I'm traveling, when I'm in an airport, if I'm going back and forth to Europe, wherever it is. I usually travel once or twice a year internationally. So for me, it's just not a fit to have a big, expensive automatic piece. For travel, I would think that you wouldn't want a $5,000 piece going through airport security. In that case, I would always bring something smaller, Seiko, Tissot, other quartz pieces that can really last and not worry about it too much. Another thing is something you'll see a lot on Instagram. There was a gentleman who shall not be named that was wearing watches to the gym. If you bang a $50 Seiko on a dumbbell, no sweat. If I'm banging my Cartier, that's a big problem. It would stress me out. Personally, I just think it's a safer bet to bring something quartz, bring yourself a beater, and you'll really enjoy it. The saying that I always like to go by is luxury, it's really about peace of mind. And sometimes that means not wearing a luxury watch at all. I know that's weird to say from a watch dealer and someone who sells watches, but really know your place and know the environment in which you're bringing your watch. And know that sometimes it doesn't warrant a watch, or sometimes it warrants something, smaller, whether it be a quartz piece or, things like that. I think that quartz is awesome because it really gets you a beater at every budget. If you're under $50, you can get yourself a nice piece when you're looking at a Casio. It's, in my mind, it's really nostalgic and it's really indestructible. If you up your budget a little bit to about $200 to $500, you can get something like that Casio Oak that we presented in the earlier video. You can get yourself a Citizen ProMaster, and I think that, again, like I said, that G-Shock, the GA 2100, the Casio Oak, is a wonderful beater watch. We do have several of them. I actually think I have one of them on my desk right now. Just to reiterate that, again, that was in the video that we did late last week in regards to a nice capsule watch collection under $5,000. But I mean, something like this is an ultimate beater for me and many other collectors. So, you might be thinking, well, if I get something, collectors are not going to, respect me. And, you always want something that is classy, and, I might not get a lot of clout. And, it's a question that I get a lot. I mean, I get clients all the time that are like, hey, Nick, is this watch a watch that my friends are going to think is cool? Which I think is ridiculous. When you're spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, I always say choose yourself first in that scenario. But I do understand that people want to get something that they think is going to be cool to their friends and their family. So, my thought process is here. That collectors, they will respect the beater, and reason being is a true collector really understands that a well-worn quartz piece tells a story, and it's lived a life with you that just can't be had if you have an automatic piece. I think, ironically, it's the one watch that you actually wear the most. Whether that is, again, a quartz beater or another beater piece. Again, a beater doesn't necessarily have to be quartz, but in my preference, in my mind, a beater is, quartz, because you do want it to be on the lower end. And yeah, it's just something that I personally have, and it's something I'm going to continue to have in my collection as I grow and as I age. So that's just something to keep in mind, whether you have a drawer full of Swiss pieces, or you're just getting started, I would make room for a quartz beater. I mean, it's not going to win the watch snob's approval. I'm sure there's a lot of, if you're in this industry, you're in this hobby long enough, you're going to meet a lot of watch snobs who might disagree with me and disagree with the message of this video. But I think it'll win that durability contest every time. I think that you'll really appreciate having a piece in your collection and in your rotation that you can bang around a little bit. And, when that other guy, when that snob is, cracking the glass on their H Moser, or they are dropping their paddock, or getting sand in between their date just, you'll be very grateful that you have, of course, a lower, value piece that you can take with you everywhere. So again, if you have a favorite beater, drop it in the comments. I would love to know what your guys' collection looks like. For me, I always have a really nice quartz piece in my personal collection. And, as I age, I'm always looking to build a well-rounded collection. If that's something that you are interested in and you want to join me on this journey of, educating the market and kind of having a off the beaten path idea of the watch market in general, and building a well-rounded collection that I can be proud of, and hopefully you guys can be proud of as well, then make sure you subscribe, because I'm just getting started. Again, keep in mind to wear what you love, but also wear something that you don't break. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.